Hello and welcome to CADMATIC Electrical webinar about single line diagrams and multi-line diagrams. Today's host is me, Antto Heino. I'm the application specialist for CADMATIC Electrical. So today the topic will be about the single line diagrams and multi-line diagrams, and these topics that we will cover today will mostly be for some maybe a bit newer users of electrical of CADMATIC Electrical. Maybe if you are more experienced user, there might be some things that you might find useful, but mainly this is for the newer users. Some basic things about the CADMATIC Electrical. So why this webinar is made is because you may notice that this year we made a huge change in our user interface. And also for that user interface, we changed a bit how electrical works. So we added this new functionality or new drawing type, complete new drawing type as a single line. And for that reason, we thought that maybe it would be good to explain a few things, that what's the difference between single lines and multi-line drawings, and also that maybe the new users can see things, how the electrical is actually working. Let's jump for the single line drawings. What is a single line diagram or single line drawing? It's in CADMATIC Electrical point of view, it's a drawing that shows you the locations and devices and also the connections between them. And the connections are made mainly with cables or maybe some other like those bigger connections, meaning that there is no termination points in the single line drawings. You can only have the locations, you can only have devices drawn in there. What the single line diagrams are usually used for, they are for power distribution, for example, of any power distribution of any site that you may be designing, some accommodation building or maybe some industrial site, for example, some factories or something else. Well, that's one way to do it as a power distribution, but you can also use it for other systems, for example, telecommunication, these or audio sockets, anything you may want, but still keep in mind that it's used for the connections within the cables. We have one functionality in single line also for the loop diagrams, which is meaning at the moment it's only the fire alarm systems, but we are working on to have these loop diagrams also for other systems so that you can actually have your, for example, light fixtures automatically drawn to your single line diagram according to your layout drawings. And also one example for these single line diagrams is also this earthing drawings. So eventually they are only using one wire, but still maybe you should consider that to be a single line drawing when drawing the earthing there. Drawing types in CADMATIC Electrical are as in general it's called single line diagram, but for some technical reasons we have divided this single line diagram into 3 different subcategories. First one is the single line itself. It's like these single line drawings that you may see. Then we have this load diagram, which is used, for example, in industrial sites for this power distribution from the cabinet onwards, but still showing the connections only with the cables. And then we have the third option. It's quite old technology already, mostly used in Nordic countries. Is this distribution board table. I will show you an example of all these three in this webinar a bit later on. And also, I want to highlight always a few things. Now, for single line, I want to highlight this one thing, which is the integration with ETAP. ETAP is not a CADMATIC tool. It's a third-party software that is used for electrotechnical calculations and maybe simulations as well. So what you can do in CADMATIC Electrical, you can draw your own single line drawing, do all the connections, have the safety or what are the protection devices in the distribution board cables, and maybe feeding the motor or anything. And then with the integration, you can actually export this whole single line design and take it to ETAP. And in ETAP, you can do all the definitions of the short circuit calculations, cable diameters, and so onward. You can do those in ETAP, and after you have done your simulations and you are happy with those results, maybe then you can import the ETAP calculations back to electrical, and then you will have all the values, and maybe you need to change these cable diameters or the whole cable material from aluminium to copper or something else. That's also something you can do between electrical and ETAP. This just want to highlight that this ETAP is not a CADMATIC tool. It's only an integration to ETAP, and the ETAP is an independent software regarding here. But what with the CADMATIC Electrical you are allowed to do is to maybe reduce the amount of drawing that you need to do. Usually you need to draw the things in your electrical designing tool and then do the same design for the simulation or calculation tool. So now you only have to do the actual drawing modification in electrical, which is made for that. And then you can use the ETAP to create your calculation. And so the ETAP is made for that. And then only the information is flowing between these two softwares. Yeah, that's a short small talk about the single line diagrams. Well, then we have had these multi-line drawings or multi-line diagrams in electrical for ages already. And as mentioned, this single line was separated from this multi-line this year. So now we have these two drawing types. So the multi-line diagram, we call it as a schema type drawing in electrical. Although it's it has a multiple names. It can be a schema type drawing, multi-line diagram. It can be a termination drawing. Eventually, what it's showing for you is it's showing the devices. For example, inside a location, and the location is meaning some sort of distribution board or cabinet. And this multi-line drawing is showing the connections wire by wire inside that cabinet. Also, you can do some instrumentation connections in, of course, on field, for example, from an I/O card to some temperature measurement or anything else. You can do those connections in multi-line drawing to be sure. From multi-line diagrams, also I want to highlight a few things. First one is an EDZ import. EDZ files are files that can be downloaded from the ePlan. ePlan is also an independent electrical tool apart from CADMATIC. But there is these macros that contains information about all products that you can, for example, put into your cabinet. For example, some safety switches or frequency controllers, any protection gear that you have in your cabinet. You can have all the information from these EDZ files. You can import those to CADMATIC Electrical, and that way you can actually have the full product model in your use in the current project and all the project to come in your field of design. I will show you a short example about this EDZ import today. Then if you are already our electrical user, you may know that we have these generating functionalities, especially made for these multi-line drawings. So you can actually have template drawings and use those to generate your project drawings, meaning that maybe you have some repeat use design. You may have the same type of drawing maybe 10 or 20 times in your cabinet for some light protection or socket outlets, for example, or maybe some heating devices. So you can generate these drawings automatically. Also, I will have a short example of that generation. Then a third thing is the device import, which is actually something that you can use in single line, you can use in multi-line, and also other types of drawings in electrical. But maybe this multi-line and also single line, they are the best examples for that, since usually you may have the first information of your on-field devices, for example, motors, for example, for example, air conditioning or other devices that may require electricity and those electrical connections. And in that way, you can have these devices imported from the other design disciplinaries and import those device informations to CADMATIC Electrical and continue your work of design. Also, I will have a short example of this device import. Then, just before I go to the electrical itself, just a reminder that how these things work in CADMATIC Electrical. You can actually think of the CADMATIC Electrical to be in the center of your design and as a database. So meaning why I say it this way, I mean that you can actually start your design from any part of here, showing these bubbles around the CADMATIC Electrical. Also, these reports and lists, since we have the import functionality in electrical, so you can actually import the devices as I just mentioned. But maybe you usually start from the arrangement drawings or then the single line drawings. What you are actually doing, of course, you are drawing the actual drawing. You are doing the single line diagram itself. You are creating the cabinet cables and the devices and making the connections between them. But that information can be actually reused in these other drawings later on, so that you don't have to create these devices again and again and again. And also when you have two occurrences, for example, this motor that is shown here, you can have the all the properties of this one motor. You can change it in any document, or you can then change the information also in the database, and information will be updated into these. all these documents. Well, now we jump to the electrical itself, and I will start from the single line drawings. Maybe let's go step by step of how things are done there, how they look like, how they should be done, and so forth. Some of you listening might want to turn this drawing upside down, but you actually today you want to read it from the top to bottom. Again, this is quite a local thing that where you are from, it might you might have a bit different approach to the design, but still keep in mind that this is one way to represent things, and in electrical, it's really we are really flexible about your location, so you can have it up to down, down to up, left to right, and right to left, even diagonally if you want. So this single line contains the feeding part of this one complete electrical system here, and here is our main distribution board. The main distribution board here is actually only drawn to this drawing using this rectangular shape, and it has a tag that is a main distribution board as an MDB. Now this is a boundary object that which will actually combine all these things inside here, all the all the protective devices, for example, here, they are already pointed out to be part of this MDB. So whenever I have a boundary and I insert something inside it, it will be automatically part of this main distribution board. And all these devices actually can be checked from our project tree from there. And here you can, for example, see that there's the main distribution board, there's the supply bus bar, the green one here, and also all the protection devices are listed here, and so they are here. Well, how things go onward from that, one way is to use these boxes. Again, they are boundaries, as is this main distribution board, but we only want to show that this connection between the main distribution board and, for example, this O2 DB1 is made with this exact cable here. And when I hover my cursor above this cable, you may see that there's the from information is coming from the main distribution board Q3 protective device and going to O2 DB1 distribution board. So the from information is from a device inside the main distribution board as it is in the drawing. So the drawing is specifying the connection, and on the other end, there is only information that it's going into this O2 DB1. That's one way to show the connections between here, and actually if we check this cable, we can check it from the cable types. You can see that here as well we have the cable going on, and the occurrences and also the wires inside the cable, they are not connected yet to anything. Another option is to actually have the same cable, and not the same cable, but the cable drawn here, but you can see a different way to make the connection. This is an actual closer to reality, is that you have a protective device in the supplying distribution board as here, the Q7, and then you have the cable, and you can see it's actually connected to this bus bar in the DB3, and the connection is made to be DB3 supply, and this, of course, this supply can be any as a device named to be as any device there. Well, how do you modify things in a single line drawing? A few options to be done. Of course, you can, if you have something already here, you can, maybe the easiest way is just to copy things here and put it to the new location. The whole distribution board, maybe you want to just copy this smaller part of this, only this F2 here. It's either way you like it. It's possible. But then there is also one way to do it, so that you can actually create everything to be ready in the database, or you can do as I do now. You can copy the existing distribution board. So I copy this DB3 and I want that to be, I will show you in the wrong screen, but I want to copy it to be a DB4. So this can actually be now a new distribution board, which will have the same supplies. It will have the same cables, same everything actually, but different location name. You can have this DB4 here. So this is an alternative way to copy things in your design. You can, for example, here start to draw the bus bar into the drawing. You can define the location. Well, it's defined already here where we started. Color of the bus bar, maybe the width for that. Number 1 is okay, and the bus bar text, there we go. Okay, and we can just start to draw the bus bar to that direction, and then we can define which one we want to use, maybe the constant distance of 28 units or maybe bounding box. It's up to you. I will select the constant distance of 28 drawing units. You can also define that whether you want these supplies to be on below or you want them to be above. So as here, and same with the feeders, outgoing feeders from the bus bar. And when everything is set, select OK, and it will be drawing the whole whole boundary bus bar and the devices inside your cabinet. On this case, of course, it doesn't draw these motors, safety switches, or connection points. You can define those one by one if you like so. Then you can copy things here, or then you can draw. Maybe you have some different kind of outgoing feeders, not only for this motor, but you can set 1-phase and 3-phase motors and maybe some other heating equipments into your project. Well, here's a few ways now to copy things inside the project, how to draw things into single line. Eventually what it is, it's only using the symbols here. Of course, you can use the product models. You have some specific protection devices from different manufacturers that you want to use. That's always something you can use. And that's maybe check a bit later on about these product models with the EDZ import. Okay, so this is now the single line drawing type. As mentioned, we have the 3 different drawing types. We have the single line, so it's a single line diagram. Let's go and check what is the load diagram, and after that, let's check on the distribution board table how they look like. So we have a O2 DB1 here, which is 1. Let's check on this electrical tab. We can see that is here. It has one incoming feeder and 8 outgoing feeders inside this cabinet. So this load diagram here is actually showing you all these feeders, all the properties of these feeders, and there is also a possibility for you to maybe do some modifications into here. So for example, I have some switches here. I can insert these or any other connection points before it goes to the field. These devices inside your cabinet, you can have these listed in this load diagram. Load diagram is a quite easy way to show all these feeders inside one distribution board, and it's also an easy way to have, for example, I have this one feeder that I haven't already inserted to here, so I can just insert these. There's always functionalities to insert things one by one, but you can of course always use this insert feeder packages into drawings, so it will be an automatic insertion function, so that maybe you have again created everything to be ready, just put them all here to this one drawing, and after that you are good to go, and maybe do some small modifications into the feeders if necessary. We have one training video dedicated to this load diagram, and you can actually go and check it from our start page. You can try checking this video here and go and find the load diagram training, and in there all these things will be explained more specifically than this time. It's free for all. You can all access the training. It's in English, so should be good to go after that. Then we have the third drawing type in third drawing type in electrical, which, as I mentioned, is a bit older technology, still working quite okay. If you are not familiar with this, it's only a table that you can just use as one sort of a report. So just have your feeders ready, maybe from the single line, or then you can make them here one by one, of course. But maybe the easiest way is so that if you have these feeders done in your other drawings, maybe in the layout, you may do some building electrification, so you have the feeders in the layout drawing, and after that you want to maybe do some modifications inside your cabinet. You want to specify where things go, you can do it here. But as I have here, I have already set that I have these light and socket outlets here, and the office AC units power is listed here. I can actually use quite easily that I can import the feeder data and maybe define the spacing. Yeah, 3 is okay. Pick out the start row. Oh yeah, it was already a 4. And then select OK. And after that, you will have all your all your feeders listed in this distribution board table. And maybe if I do some changes here now, I want to highlight that we have the database. If I do any changes in here, again on the main screen, sorry about that, we can change, for example, the cable type. And before I press OK, you can actually see that this one is for the load diagram, the simple package. This one is for the layout, and this one is for the distribution board table simple package. I can define those, select OK. Information is changed here, but since this same feeder was used in the load diagram, the information will be changed here. So again, you have the database working behind the scenes, and all the information is still up to date, no incorrect data and no mistakes in your design. Yes, really a quick walkthrough about this single line part. Now let's jump for the multi-line drawings and check how things are in there. So as I explained, the single lines are for the cables, multi-line is for the wires. So it is here. So what we have the bus bar. Now it has all the 5 wires. It has a protective, earth, neutral, and 3 phases. And all the 3 phases are also going downwards until the motor. This one is now the distribution 3, which was actually in the single line drawing. It was here listed to be this one here. So all the information is now running between these two drawings. And let's say we have this cable information here coming from the distribution and going to the safety switch in the field. We have the cable information DB3, Q26, and Whiskey 1. And here we have no cable marking here. We can actually go and dig the cable. Let's see if we have it this way, showing project tree. Here we have it. So this cable here is not marked to be here. So you can actually connect and mark cable and its wires. Already existing wires in the drawing, select OK, and you can just draw the wire across the wires. You can define the connections. You can see now this one is made to be the wire number 1, 2, 3, and you can actually select these ones to be, or maybe you want to change the order. Maybe you want the black to be first one and then the brown. Either way you like it. You can change those wires, and after that select OK and insert your marking into the drawing. So this is a way how to define wires inside the multi-line diagram. Of course, we have a possibility for you to draw wirings individually into the drawing. You can draw internal wires, cable wires. You can pick any of these here, so you can draw it wire by wire. But sometimes maybe you want just, as I did just before, I just define the wires of one cable to be here exactly. So depending on the design that you are doing. Of course, you can also draw all these internal wires inside your cabinet. Maybe you need to make some markings to those as well. You can use our default markings, or then you can have your own specific defined markings. Default markings, meaning that you may want to have more information, not only the wire ID and the color. Maybe you want to know the from and to information to that cable as well into there. Well, one thing also is that these multi-line drawings usually cover multiple sheets. Here we only have one sheet, but you can actually have multiple sheets in your design. So these will actually just go on top of each other. And if I draw something to the sheet number 2, it will be then on that one. And you can move these to be side by side. And the printing options of these sheet is quite, even though if you have 100 sheet, the printing options is easy to just select, for example, this one drawing here, and select the Q printing from drawing sheets, and you will have all the sheets printed at once. You don't need to do them one sheet at a time. Let's move back here. Well, then I explained to you maybe not too much about these product models that we have, or at least I mentioned, didn't explain. Let's be let's be honest. The product models is something that you can have product specific information. For example, these product protective devices could be some ABB protective devices with certain codes and all these type numberings and etc. You can have, and of course, you can have multiple symbols so that you can use the same product model. The product will be in the multi-line, it will be on the single line, on the layout, and so forth. And even in multi-line, you may need to have, you can have multiple symbols in one product model, and in that way you can use these. The same product can have different occurrences throughout your project. Well, these product models is quite nice to be used, and one way to have your own product models is to use the EDZ import. So as I explained, the EDZ import is using these ePlan macros, which you can download from ePlan, of course, itself, or then you can go to manufacturer pages and download, for example, the ABB or Schneider Electric or any other manufacturer's pages, and you may have these files. The EDZ import, now the file that I'm opening right now, it's quite big. You can see there's 197 different product models or macros. So it will be listing them for me shortly here, and we will just pick one product from there and maybe do some uploading for that. One moment, it's again on the wrong screen. Here we are. Yes. So what we have here is, first on the left hand side, I will select the path itself. This is the ABB frequency controller that I want to use. The numbers or the name of the product model will be defined here. Some descriptions and other information. Then you can select any sort of documents that are included in the macro. Usually they are just in different languages. Maybe I want to have this one. Also, I want to have this particle, this PNG file to be showing that what it looks like. And here I can select that whether I want these, what kind of diagram symbols I want to use. Now it's saying that only multi-line diagram symbols are in this macro, so I will select all three of them. Then the last part is to select additional information to be listed to your product here. And for example, here we have its manufacturer information will be the ABB, some remarks on that, and also the type information. And I think nothing else is listed here. Yes. So 3 additional informations will also be there. You can also define your own additional informations, and all these values will be set for those additional informations. Why to use the additional information? Of course, then you can use your list of devices and other things. You can actually do a bill of materials using our report tool from electrical, and that way we will have again information working. Select OK, and then add the new records only. There's also a possibility that you want to update things, so you can have your ePlan macros, you can update them as many times as you want. Maybe you have some new features coming, there may be new symbolics. So if you one time download this macro, create it to be a product model, and you are missing one symbol or some other information regarding that that part, you can actually update the information from the edset file, so it will follow the same code to your. And there we have the converter. And how it goes, it's also here on the product models tree. You can see the converter is here. Let's edit that. Let's check it a bit more. So we have the name of the product model, and also in additional information, there are the few informations. We have the URLs, we have the PNG drawing of the device, some remarks, also the type and the manufacturer of the device. Well, why should you use this one? This edset macros. These symbols were not in CADMATIC Electrical before, but now that I did the import, I can actually use this frequency controller here. Just insert it to the drawing, give it an ID. It will be just as any other electrical device, and once I click OK, it will be inserted there. And of course, if we check this one here, this one wire, you can see it's going from the it's going from here. It's not actually connecting to the this one's here, but it's going from here to here. It has the information how it's going, yes, but once we inserted this frequency controller, let's do that one again, and we insert that one, it will be the FC2. It will cut the wires as any other electrical symbol would do, and you will have the actual 2 information as it is in the frequency controllers pin number L1, or maybe this one here. You can see it's that way. So there is all these ePlan macros are using our already existing nice electrical functionalities when the conversion is done. So wires will be cut, it will have an ID. You can modify them as any other electrical device. Well, now we have made maybe this FC2 here, but we know that we have information in the single line drawing. Since we had, for example, this safety switch here, show in project tree, there it is. And if we go to single line drawing, you can see that this here is the frequency controller is missing. So we can actually insert these devices, or then we can pick from here and take the product models, either way you want. We can actually, let's select this one. You could insert it here, or then have it from here, either way. Insert an occurrence from that one, but since we only have the multi-line symbolics here, you can go and pick from other symbols to go and select your it was starters, and you can have the frequency controller drawing or the symbol there, and you can insert that FC1 there. And the same thing for that one. you can go and select there the starter and insert it again to the drawing. And still, this one is showing project tree. It's here, and it's here as an FC2. And if I change any information regarding that, maybe it changes. Yes, let's save the drawing. If I change any information, maybe it will be FC3. It's changing here and also in the single line drawing. So keep in mind again that the CADMATIC Electrical database gathers the information, and you can reuse the information throughout your whole project, not only in the one drawing and do the modification in different places. This is quite a nice way to keep your information up to date. Well, let's go back to the multi-line. Multi-line, of course, when I say that you want to maybe have this information throughout your project, maybe you want to copy things. One way is, of course, doing as I just did. I insert the symbols individually, but you can also use our copying functions. Select the things that you want to copy, and just paste the information there. After that, you will have this, we call it the copy reaction. And you can just type in the new values, maybe this x2, it should be x3, and now I have all these here. Just replace the ID for all. Frequency controller, that would be a 4, that would be a 7, that would be a 7 as well, and 7. So I will actually modify things one by one. Let's do it that way. And okay. And all the information after that is changed. Information is changed, and you have all these new products or new devices rather in your drawing. And you can also see them in your project tree here. So for example, this frequency controller, the new one is only here. Yeah. Well, that's one way to reuse your already existing information. But also there is one option to use the generating tools that we have in electrical. And a way to use those ones, let's move on a bit. Now we can sort of forget the things that we have already drawn. I will just show you how to generate drawings. I won't be too much into detail since we actually have a quite long training video about this. So please go and check it from the Training Academy, as I showed you from the start page and the film. Click on that and you can find trainings for this drawing generation as well. So wrong screen. So what we are doing now, we are using template drawings and a template Excel to define our. So here we have a template Excel or information Excel. How do you call it? Generating Excel, maybe. You have all the information set there. That's what you want to have in your new drawings. I will then go and pick the module file. So I have only two types of module. I have this Rocco A and Rocco other one. And I can select all of them. I can select one of them. Either way, it's actually going to create me this one file of this long numbers and example.drw. So 3 sheets in one drawing will be generated here. My target project is here, this one. Let's generate the drawings. Yes, let's do that one. And on the background, you can actually see, that all these drawings are just blinking on the behind, and that way all the generating is done from the example Excel. And now the generating is finalizing here. It's adding these drawings to be one complete drawing. It's merging them together, and after that you can have the generating done from all three drawings. There it's merged, one is deleted there, and the drawing is now here also in the project tree. So now it's the document is opened, and you can actually scroll all the sheets here that you have it there. Just to show you the Excel, how it looks like, here's the information, and all that we have in the Excel is actually listed. For example, the drawing file name or the electrical position that you can see from here. It's generated. But as mentioned, please go and check the training videos that we have for you all. Either you are an electrical user or not, please go and check the training videos, and then you will learn more about the modular generating and maybe want to use it yourself in the future. Then we have also the import function. This is the last one. As mentioned, this I don't know if it's mostly used for the schema drawings or multi-line drawings, but also can be used for single lines. It can be used for the arrangement drawings, any kind of drawings, even for the cabinet layout drawings, if you like. The import functions are usually something that you create only a definition for your import. So I will now show you about this project while the database tool is opening. I will show you our project. We have three different product models. We have, for example, this contactor here, meaning that the contactor, it has an symbol for the multi-line drawing, and also according to the X, Y, and Z sizes, there is this some sort of cylinder. As a 3D, it shouldn't be that one, it should be a cube, but what do you know? So we have only these product models, but we have no devices under them. So what we can do, we can actually go to the database tool. We can start the import functionality and use the import definition. Here is already done, one import definition, so I won't again go too much into details. This one has also its much longer training videos, but you can use the import function using this definition, and this is usually the way you usually use it, meaning that you will have these import definitions, and they can be used in different projects. So you only create one definition, and after that definition is done, you will actually you are able to use that in all the projects that you are using. What we did now, we actually have these products in the Excel. Once again, an Excel, where the world would be without the Excel. You will have the device IDs, and also we have information that into what into what product model these devices will belong to. I will just select continue, and it will start doing the import. It will still check one more time that how things are actually going to be in this import. And once the import is done, actually you can see now on the background, you can see that some devices are already in the drawing. I can pick import, everything is done. I can close the definition management, and here you can see we have some protective devices, we have motors, and we have contactors. And once we go to our drawing that we want to draw, we can actually synchronize the changes from the database, and you can see that these 4 products are now in the database. So after that, it's quite easy for you to start. Just since we have the symbolics already for the product models, we can just start inserting symbols. There we have that one. Then we have the contactor there, and then we have the motor, like so. And maybe we want to draw the bus bars. Yes. And delete the excessive wires. And there we go. We have our one motor circuit done using the import functions and some drawing there as well. So the import example here is quite simple that I made. We have also these import functionalities. This is now using the Excel one, but we also have some features that you can use, maybe our 3D tools from other CADMATIC portfolio tools. You can use those. You may have some integrations from them to electrical, and all the device information will be then flowing back and forth there. Well, at this point, I think I have covered all the things that I wanted to say you regarding our regarding this single line and multi-line tools or drawings that we have. So it was a quick look into this. Please go and check the training videos. Maybe you will find also some webinars from our website that will cover more information for you. And also don't forget to just contact us and we will teach you more about these subjects. Thank you for joining this webinar, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.